Hello, everybody. I just want to talk about healthcare today and why it's terrible. So I have three articles that I want to show and read to you guys. So the first one is just about U.S. healthcare and why it's so bad today. So healthcare industry is only dominated by a small percent of companies. So let me give you some statistics for this. So 52% of dialysis centers, 75% of IV solutions, 69% of syringe manufacturing, 63% of orthopedic proc manufacturing, and 47% of healthcare consultants. Those percentages that I just gave you are run by only two companies. That's ridiculous. Only two. It's crazy. So, this market concentration contributes to the high prices within the US healthcare system. So, if you know the healthcare system as it is, you know the US pays way more than any other country, but no one really uses it because it's so high. So, you have the healthcare prices so high, and then only a small handful of people that actually use it. Even if they need it and they can't afford it, it's like, what can you do, right? So, hospital systems continue to merge with each other so they can charge more money. So, let me picture a scenario for you. So, let's say there's two hospitals, Hospital 1 and Hospital 2. They're both like pretty average hospitals. So, you have Hospital 1 talking to Hospital 2 like, "Hey, Hospital 2, I see you doing pretty good over there." "Oh, thank you, Hospital 1. Oh, maybe we should merge together and have a bigger company." "Oh, that sounds like a great idea." Then they merge together and they have this huge company. They have more workers. That sounds good in theory. But since they have a bigger company, now they're going to need more money rolling in. So they're like, you know what, let's charge people more, because we have to keep this business running and keep going, which is just isn't good. Just isn't good. So that's basically what the first article is about. Let me go to the second article. So here's the second article. So it says rising healthcare costs continue to erode the American standard of living. For a typical American family of four, the annual cost of healthcare now surpasses 28,000. You know how much 28,000 is to a regular family? That's a lot of money. Families pay more than 12,000 of this amount in premium and out-of-pocket charges. That makes sense? So let's read this part. This one's interesting. From 1999 to 2016, health economist Martin Gaynor notes workers' health insurance premiums increased by 242%. Over the same period, workers' wages only increased by 60%. So let's talk about that for a second. That's interesting. So if we look at that statistic, right? So like workers' wages doesn't really increase besides, minimum wage. And let's talk about that for a second. Minimum wage. So minimum wage is basically something that's supposed to help people in the low income families, so they can have more money so they can, pay for things like food, shelter, all the necessities, right? But in reality, it doesn't do that. It sounds like a good idea in theory, but it's not. So essentially, so each term in the presidency, almost each term in the presidency, minimum wage has increased. So what happens is when the minimum wage increases, you get more money. And when you get more money, you pay more taxes, essentially. So it's essentially having higher taxes, and then companies see, oh, these people have more money now. Now we can charge even more for our products. So you may have like a $700 like iPhone. Let's say minimum wage increases to like $15. They're not gonna charge $700 for that same iPhone. They're about to charge 800, 850. So essentially, you're at the same situation. Why do you think every time minimum wage increases, everyone still complains it's the same problem? It's essentially what's happening here with the healthcare. Now, they're thinking that merging is going to be a good idea, and then once they merge, they charge more, and then people can't pay for it. So it's like Doesn't make any sense. But let's continue back onto this article. So, why do Americans have to pay so much for healthcare? That's a good question to ask, and no one has the answer. So, often we're told it's overutilization. But citizens in other countries like Germany see doctors more, spend more days in the hospital, and undergo procedures at roughly similar rates while paying far less for healthcare and living longer. So that just sounds like Germany's healthcare is far better than ours. You know, they spend more days in the hospital because it's more affordable and the procedures cost less. So it makes sense that they would go see doctors more. So let's get through. Let's see. Rather than overutilization, inflated prices are what drive U.S. healthcare costs so much higher than other peer nations. In OECD countries, the median cost of healthcare stay in 2014 was $10,500. In the U.S., it was basically double. Of course, it was basically double, and that price is just going to keep increasing year after year after year. By 2017, approximately two-thirds of hospitals in the U.S. have been subsumed by a chain. They basically can't go anywhere. They're stuck where they are. As the industry becomes dominated by corporate entities, many communities are losing their independence, local hospitals. That's just terrible. While hospitals close for a variety of reasons, brief review of the 21 hospital closures in 2018 reveals that over half were closed by their parent corporation, typically for not providing enough revenue. Well, of course, if companies are just going to merge together, then how are they going to build? How are the companies that are not going to merge and just be independent going to have enough money? So they see a bigger hospital, they're going to go towards that one. It's more well known than just an independent, small type of company. So, of course, they're not going to reach enough revenue, and then they have to close. So then the only ones that are left are these giant ones that cost a fortune. Here's a good one. So, many provisions of the Affordable Health Care Act, Obamacare, have encouraged hospitals to merge. Since the passage of the Affordable Health Care Act, hospital consolidation has more than doubled, with the record-setting number of mergers occurring in 2017. So we all thought that the affordable health care was something great. You know, we got Medicare and Medicaid, you know, for the low-income families. Basically, we all have health care. But that wasn't the case. It just made more people merge together so they can charge more. So it's basically like going to square one. But now we're even in a worse situation with that Obamacare. So it's best to get rid of this Obamacare and have a new like policy, or just fix the Affordable Health Care Act altogether. Here's another article. This is basically an article about what President Trump should do for the healthcare system. So this says, since the Affordable Health Care Act was enacted, hospital consolidation increased by 70%. In 2014 alone, 95 hospital mergers happened in the country. That's insane. 70%. So you can just see that something that was supposed to turn out good doesn't turn out good. Same thing with minimum wage and stuff like that. Here's a good thing. Here's a good thing right here. According to hospitals, health systems, and physician groups have more power to exploit the public because they can charge high prices freely and without accountability. That's saying something. So with this monopoly, they can basically just charge more money because they're bigger. So we're merging together. We have more employees. We have more staff, more resources. So we're going to charge you, instead of $30, let's charge you $50. $50 seems too small. Let's make it $100. It's just going to go up and go up, go up. And then when people can't pay for it, they're going to be like, well, it's not our fault. You know, we need this money. You know, like, healthcare monopoly victimized the ordinary people. Every year, America is spending up to $500 billion on healthcare alone than the rest of the world. But what most people don't know is that the excessive spending comes out of the pocket of premium payers without their knowledge. So basically people don't even know that this is like the spending and like where it goes. So essentially, you know, the money that goes to healthcare is gonna go to the bigger companies, the mergers, right? So since they're bigger, you know, they're gonna get more of the pay. Since they have more staff, more doctors, you know, they're gonna get more money. So it doesn't even matter. Like, let's say a small like company, a small like hospital is doing like the best service, better than the bigger companies. Doesn't matter because they're not gonna get as much money as the bigger companies would. So the bigger companies get way more money, and let's say they're not even doing anything that great. They're just there. So they're gonna get all this money, and they don't necessarily need it. It's just because that they merge that they're gonna get this like huge amount of money, and just use it on whatever. And you see, like, there's not really any improvement in like healthcare or like medical in any ways right now. You know, people say like, they don't get enough money. You know, like healthcare doesn't get enough money, but it doesn't even matter. Like with this, it doesn't even matter. Like if they got more money, because if they got more money, it would just go to the same people that already have majority of the money. So all the other small people that might be looking for like better like options for people that need like help and medication, like all those people that are looking for like better resources, they're still getting paid, they're still getting like less money, and the money's not really going to them. So it just creates this whole cycle where all these big companies are just getting more of the money, and it's just creating this monopoly where they charge more money and people can't pay for it. So it's like the only thing that you can really do is lower the prices if they can, and stop the merging. So if they all just went back into their independent selves, then it wouldn't be such a problem, and healthcare wouldn't have to go up 242%. Like, like who's gonna pay for that? You have like operations that are like $10,000. Like like you might as well just walk out and just like deal with it. And that's what most people do. They just deal with whatever they're going to. That's why so many people's health are just in shambles. Like what are they supposed to do? Like you want them to like go to a bank, or can I take a $10,000 loan? You know, I need an operation. Like it doesn't make sense. So that's basically the end of the video, guys. You should hit the subscribe button down below. More videos coming soon. You know, this is just the first video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment. Leave a comment down below and tell me what you think about this whole healthcare fiasco type thing. I'll leave all of the articles in the description down below. Check my Instagram at mentalhealthtruth_. And yeah, see you guys later.